Hey, Mark King here, and here are actually I'm gonna do two articles. They're covering the same subject, but they've like well, Zero Hedge. They've been on the forefront of this whole uh, lab escape thing, while the media, the Bill Gates, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, and the Hollywood and all these atrocious fake news media, while they were denying it, Zero Hedge actually came out and actually talked about how it escaped from a lab. Here are the key findings from the bombshell government dossier on China's bat virus program, a leaked dossier compiled by Western intelligence agencies concluded that China lied and deliberately suppressed or destroyed evidence during crucial early days of the outbreak, and notes that Chinese researchers have been experimenting with and creating a deadly bat virus. Okay, this is some things I just highlighted. A key theme of the dossier is that China's negligence and lies result in endangerment of other countries worldwide. Okay, all the countries worldwide. Doctors who bravely spoke out against the virus were detained and condemned for their actions, and some of them just absolutely disappeared. You know, and as China does, they lie. Their detentions were splashed across Chinese state media with a call from Wuhan police for all citizens not to fabricate rumors, not to spread rumors, not to believe rumors. You know, it makes sense now. A lot of our American media are Chinese citizens apparently because this is what they did. They try not to fabricate those rumors, about escaping from a lab. Bunch of liars, man. Just and the thing that's sad to me is like, it seems like most of our mainstream media is embedded with the communists, right? The communists are embedded with Hollywood. It's very scary. It's like people blame like McCarthyism seen as a bad thing, but back then, it was probably a bad thing, okay? But when you see like the 2020, when you see what's happening to it, how it's embedded in a lot of our media, the Hollywood is embedded in corporations. It's very scary, man. It is. Okay, further evidence was destroyed, and China refused to provide live samples. That's the thing that's bothersome. They didn't want to provide to international scientists, right? So the paper by the Saudi Telegraph speaks about the suppression and destruction of evidence and points to virus samples ordered and destroyed by the genomics lab. Wildlife market stalls bleached the genome sequence not shared publicly, and the Shanghai lab closed for rectification. Hmm. Anyway, China deadly denials. That's also scary. They lied, then denied it, and then they allowed they essentially allowed like other countries to basically have travel while they themselves had restrictions on travel. This is why, like, again, this is what happens when you have a communist society, right? You tend to push lies to the forefront. And I earlier I spoke about guys like Alex Jones and David Icke. This is why they're so important. There are guys who speak up, and yet you see the American media, the corporations such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, ban these guys when they've basically told the truth. And sometimes it's the truth as the way they see it, but they're not openly lying. Twitter, again, YouTube have countless Chinese state sponsored sites. Bill Gates defended China. Bill Gates is again, he's an evil man who'll always be protected. Besides being filthy rich, he has walls, walls like he can grow his own food. He can do anything he wants. Anyway, let's just continue with this. So while a leaked dossier does not reach conclusion whether it was natural or engineered, it includes February 6th study at South China University, which suggests that the killer virus probably originated from the lab. And again, there's some interesting with gene sequences. It's been spiced with like A's and doesn't really happen in nature. This is why people are questioning a lot of things. But I think people don't want to push the entire truth. They want to say it came from a bat and just escaped from a bat. and escape from the lab. But they're not saying it sounds like it was really man-made. That's the thing, you know. You want to be as diplomatic with China as possible, but then you also want to tell the truth. Anyway, this is let me. This is the similar stuff, but this is another. This is a the Daily Mail from the UK. It's by Rachel Sharp and from the Daily Mail, and Jack Elmson from Mail Online, and James Tepsfield, the political editor for Mail Online. Okay. Bombshell: Five Eyes Western intelligence dossier claims China lied about the human-to-human transmission, disappeared whistleblowers, and refused to help other countries with preparing a vaccine for the virus. It's a 15-page dossier. All right, the U.S., Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand intelligence agencies have exposed a series of cover-ups. Researchers disappeared. Anyway, China lied about the human-to-human virus. So what's that all saying? China lied, people died. Again, know your enemies. Know what side. Okay, again, same thing with like voting and picking sides. Whatever sides the communists are aligned with, they're the wrong side. Okay. In America, the communists are aligned with the left, the liberals, and the feminists are actually basically tools of the communists. Right. That's all they are. A lot of you women know nothing about feminism besides what the communists tell them to believe. Okay. A lot of men know nothing about feminism besides what the communists tell them to believe. Okay. Right. A lot of these people just kind of think for themselves. You can be very educated and not think for yourself. You can read from a book, you can memorize, but you cannot apply. Okay, applying is one of the key things to intelligence. Anyway, I won't cut too much, get too much more into this. The smoking gun file claims to have found evidence that the virus spawned from the Lab Institute of Virology, close to the wet market, and unearths risky research on bat-related diseases. It describes how Beijing was outwardly downplaying the outbreak on the world stage and secretly scrambling to bury all traces of the disease. Again, Beijing had Chinese citizens or Chinese people staying in other countries buying out their medical equipment. This is what China did, okay? They destroyed laboratory samples, bleaching wet market stalls, censoring and growing evidence of censoring the growing evidence of silent carriers of the virus. People can win the poo for a reason, and it kind of looks like it. It's like when you see it, you can't unsee it. Imagine I didn't think he looked like Winnie the Pooh, but when you actually put him side by side, Winnie the Pooh, same type of eyes, eyebrows, you know, yeah, pretty much. Anyway, that's it. I won't get too much, but everything, all the links will be posted. You can look at these things yourself if you're interested. Again, the China is evil. Most of the American media was complicit in this cover-up. Most of those Twitter blue check marks are also complicit for lying on behalf of the Communist Party, China, and essentially misled the American citizens and the world citizens, and this led to what's going on right now. Okay, and they're still in denial, by the way. I'm sure probably a month from now they'll have a brief retraction somewhere, buried. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your money. They don't deserve your admiration. The media is awful. Okay, Google also is included. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, they're all awful. All right. Share, save, subscribe, thumbs up. I'm also on BitChute, and please look for David Icke. You know, he was recently banned from YouTube permanently, according to them, on I think on Saturday or Friday night. All right, take care. Bye.